Luba yajja ng'ayagala kugula show. Kino nkyogera mu linnya lya Mukama Katonda. Nze wange nyinayo kamera ate ne footage mba naye soogera byansima ttu. Okitegeera ne mugamba nedda nze njagala kukola festival. Okitegeera n'abanga atakitegedde ne nkimunyola n'akibayinga. Okitegeera ne tukitandika. Twakola agreement. Nze yaŋŋamba nti ekivulu ekyo kinene ekintu kye tugenda okukola kinene. Lwaki tondese ne nkikola bukozi mbanga nkutandikidde. Ne mugamba ojja kumpayo ku ssente nsobole okuba nga nzizaamu badansa rehearsals biki. Ne tuteesa $1,140,000 nampaako $1,400,000. Bwe yampaako $1,400,000 eyo show baagisazaamu ng'ebulayo wiiki ndowooza ennaku 10 ng'akasente nakazanamu dda 7 days nazizaamu nadda mu rehearsal na biki. Agreement yali alina okunfaako 50%, teyampa 50%. Eyo breaching contract number 1 already. Kati awo ne tuvaawo show eyasazibwamu gavumenti President Museveni COVID biki measures sinze awo mba sikyabanjibwa kuba siyinza kukoonebwa mmotoka wali nemmenya amagulu ng'obadde wanguze ku show n'ojja n'onsiba nga nfunye akabenje ekisoboka. That was an accident. It is beyond my understanding. Sikiwa nti ogwo musango gwange ekyo kimu. Ekyokubiri, he was compensated by the grace of God, by the government, era ne mode of payment weeri nfuna bulungi bamuwa ssente n'azirecevinga nfuna bulungi. Ekyokubiri mu agreement mulimu nti senga wabaawo obuzibu bwonna obutagenda mu maaso nga temunnagenda mu kooti musooka kutuula. Yawaayiriza n'agamba yajja neŋŋaana alimba nze ondaba wano ninze kusaavingibwa konfaminga omusango sinasaavingibwa bya lugambo ndaba ayogera lukyali babu okitegeera senga nasaavingibwa awo tujja kutandikira but for now you're not served.
BET Award winner kati Grammy Award nominee esookedde ddala nange mbirabyeko ku social media ng'abantu bateekawo ekibeera si yasoose ebyo mubiveeko ono yasoose era let us celebrate our own tutujanjawaze bane bali abasajja bwe bafuna ebyabwe bajjanjawaza abaabwe okitegeera tetwagala kulaba negative energy tusooke tucelebrating kyetufunye okitegeera ate bwe tugiwangula that is even a bigger deal okitegeera pato oba tunagiteekawo simanyi musuuza gwanatubuulira naye nga ya musuuza nkwebaza olw'okwekkiririzaamu kyekisooka n'okwagaliza banno b'okola nabo including myself. Eddy Kenzo is that artist who wants to see the Ugandan music industry go to the next level.
I thank all the Ugandan musicians, to all the East African musicians, to all the African musicians, to all the world artists, musicians. I appreciate. But okusingira ddala abeeka mbeebaza okuba nti mwavuddeyo ne mulaga obumu. Awaadi eno si yange bw'omu ya buli muntu yenna amanyi kyekitegeeza okuba nga tubeera ne fulaga yaffe okubeera okurepresentinga kala zino. Olwaleero Uganda eri nominated for Grammy. I think it is the first of its kind in the Central and East Africa. Wakuba bingi ebyogero olw'abaana nabiri ne go to the real facts. Central and East Africa, it's the first of its kind.
So first off, let me start by saying thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy just to be here. If my voice sounds a little hoarse, it's because I was out with Eddy all night. Eddy took me to all the clubs and all that, and that was really cool. I've never been to Uganda before. I've actually never even been to Africa, so I want to really take the time to go far back and just tell a really, really important story that means a lot to me, and I think that once I get to the end of it, you'll see why. So for me, growing up on the south side of Chicago, and just growing up in the ghettos of Chicago, not really having heat in the wintertime or AC in the summertime, sleeping in a 3-bedroom apartment with my 5 siblings, and we were all in the dining room together with all of our beds, and just coming from complete and utter poverty. And my parents, they did the best that they could to help us and raise us in the right way, but just on a financial end of things, we just didn't have it. So, like for me to have pride in where I came from, it just didn't exist. But as time progressed, I wanted to know more about where I was from, and that really meant something to me, which took me on this journey of discovering like the continent of Africa, the beautiful people here, and eventually led me to want to express that through my music. So doing that transition from heavy R&B music to then turning around and doing Afrobeats, it was very important for me to be as respectful as possible to the genre, knowing that that I am not technically born here, although I am from here because my ancestors are from here, right? So it led me on that journey, and you know, I wanted to learn more about the culture. I wanted to learn more about the music, which led me to meeting my brother here, Eddy Kenzo. So I met him last year. It was actually last year around this time, and I met him at an event for Grammy consideration. So we talked to one another. We actually ended up being seated right next to one another. We had a great conversation. We instantly hit it off. And you know how that goes when recording artists hit it off. We want to make music right away, right? So Eddie's like, hey, you know, let's go to the studio and let's try and see if we can get something in. So we went to the studio the next day, and he played a beat for me, and he only played one, and it was the beat that Stein made. And initially I was like, maybe I'll use this beat, maybe we should do something else, let me hear something else. But Angela was like, no, I love this instrumental, you guys have to do something to it. So we were waiting outside for a considerable amount of time. The engineer was running a little late. We had our 3 little ones that were inside of the car, ages currently 9, 7, and 5. We make it inside of the recording studio, and it was an instant vibe. We're knocking the record out. It's almost like God was just speaking through us because it just felt right. And I think that it is reflected in the way that the record sounds, because it sounds so fun, it sounds so upbeat, it sounds so genuine, and it goes back to what Eddy was saying, which is that, you know, when you're around genuine people and when you can feel that energy, it's bound to come out inside of the record. And to see our little ones sitting in the studio and just really enjoying the music that was being created around them, it was a very, very, very powerful thing. And now to be here a year later, sitting here in Uganda, Grammy nominated, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more.